Fall in love with you. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, you guys. Today's topic is a bit sensitive.
It's sensitive to me.
It has taken me a long time to decide on whether I want to share my story, even though I know for a fact that sharing my story is one of my primary callings on this earth, because I know it's going to help others so they don't fall into the same pitfall that I fell into. But I have been dragging my feet to share my story. Yeah, forgive me for that. Procrastination. What's that thing that was talked about in the mountain is you? Self sabotage. Procrastination, self sabotage, and all whatnot have been coming in the way, but we have been able to heal that to a very large extent. And what we basically did, and when I say we, I'm referring to me, myself, and I. What we basically did last year was to drop the baggage, to let go of the things that were no longer serving us from the last season. And last year, I will say, was a general preparation for 2025, because 2025, we are coming with the energy that says we take it or we take it. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if this is your first time, hi, my name is Shaguza. Over here, I share my life story and hope that it resonates with you and it touches you in some kind of way. And today's topic, I will be talking about religious trauma. We're gonna call it RT. I think I should give it a nice name, because even the word religion is triggering me. So this is not only for you, this is for me. This is me trying to give myself a reason not to be triggered. Oh, I almost went. Okay, I have some things I wrote down. Like I said, this is a very sensitive topic to me, so I had to write things down so that my emotions will not come in the way. What is RT? I'll be sharing my personal experience. We'll talk about how it manifests in people, how it affects sexuality, and awareness, how to heal, how I healed, and how to cope with it and how to move forward. I have been putting away this topic for a very long time, until yesterday I decided to outline how I was going to talk about it, because this topic generally sums up the fundamentals of who I am, or how I grew up. I wouldn't say who I am, because I'm no longer that person. Shit, what is this? How I grew up and, transformed into this person that I am today. I had a dream last night, and this dream was about my mother. And in that dream, my mother was I was trying to ask my mother for something in the dream, and she didn't give it to me, and she was giving me conditions why she should give it to me. And oh my God, in that dream, this triggered me so deeply, and my voice is even shaking right now. So if my voice is shaking throughout this video, forgive me. That is just the trauma. But I have to say it out to heal. So talking to you about it is also part of my healing journey. It's not really about you. Sorry, disclaimer. This is more about me than it is for you, because this is my personal therapy. Since I'm not paying for therapy right now, which I should, but like talking to you about it sort of helps. My mother refused to give me the thing that I was asking her for in the dream, and she said she gave me a condition in the dream. I was so triggered in the dream, and I was annoyed, and I'm like, "You're telling me you need a reason, you need me to do something before you do this thing for me." And then she started to talk to me about,
You don't trust the world, you don't go to church, you're not doing this, you're not doing that.
and the moment I woke up, I'm like, yep, this is the sign that I needed for me to be able to share this story with you guys. I'm going to keep it real, I'm going to keep it simple, and most importantly, I'm going to be focusing on the healing. So just grab a cozy blanket and let's chat. Now, imagine growing up believing that every move you make is being judged, that you're never quite good enough for things, that your natural feelings and thoughts are somehow wrong. That's religious trauma in a nutshell. I grew up with strict parents. A little background story. I think I said this in my previous video. And while growing up, I wasn't introduced to watching anything. We didn't have a TV in our house, because TV was a crime. It was a sin. TV is a sin in the church that I grew up in. So for that reason, I wasn't exposed to TV or the media or anything. I was also very closely monitored as to when I go to school, when I come back. I didn't interact with friends so much outside. If anybody was my friend, or if you grew up in the same compound or neighborhood as me, you would know that we were those kids that you can't be friends with, you can't be close to because you can't really go to their house. If you tried to come to my house, my mother will question you about really about church. She would ask you, what church do you go? What are you born again? Have you given your life to Jesus? Have you confessed about your sins and all of that? And that was basically how I grew up. As a result, I didn't have friends. It also made me to be the estranged one in my groups growing up. So you can imagine me going to school, and because of religion too, it also affected the way she dressed us up. So we were just awkward kids that dressed very funny. Let me not say we, myself and my sister. I think my experience is completely different from hers, so maybe she'll tell her own story. But I was that weird kid that I remember my parents would just give me the kind of outfits they wanted me to wear, and what to them was modest, you know. This modest dressing made me look awkward in school. I was the weird kid. I wore the most weird outfits, the bogus long. Oh my god! I don't know. Should I insert a picture of how I grew up? Maybe those that know me from when I grew up would understand. In a nutshell, it's an emotional and psychological hurt that can be felt from most strict fear-based religious experiences, and this is how it also affects my nervous system. So let's talk about how trauma affects nervous system. Religious trauma doesn't just live in our minds, it actually affects our bodies too. Our nervous system, which is like our body's internet, can we get stuck in a state of constant alert? It's like having your phone on high volume notification 24/7, and it's exhausting. Bro, I was on such hyper alert mode. I was that hyper alert person. And I think that is part of what contributed to me being neurodivergent. I am not a biologist. I don't know how neurodivergence is gotten. I don't know if it's hereditary or not. But I feel like my traumas are also what's affected my neurodivergence. I believe so because with the amount of hypervigilance that we grew up in, you would expect that a kid that's born in an environment like that, with no TV, not allowed to see other people outside, other friends. I'll be watching friends through the peep of a window, like I'm watching our neighbors through the peep of the window, or from the rooftop, trying to peep to find out, to see something. But it was crazy. Why am I remembering my childhood? It wasn't fun. Anyways, what was I talking about now? See, can you see the neurodivergence of the I forgot what I was talking about. I became a alert person because I remember growing up and people would wonder what was wrong with me, why I was so different. I think I was already born a different person, and I think that's why this affected me differently. Because I wouldn't say I'm a sensitive person. No, I'm a feeler, not a sensitive person, because I could be really mean sometimes. I'm an empath, so I felt everything that happened to me growing up on a very deep, deep level. And I know that because when I talk about my experiences with my sister, she doesn't see it that way. She doesn't understand it that way. Maybe because it was not the same for her. But for me, I grew up seeing things that just couldn't add up. That was my problem. What I wouldn't call it a problem right now, but it was the fact that this kid that wasn't shown exposed to TV or, you know, magazines from the outside, wasn't allowed to hang out with kids, was restricted, was held down. And the only places that I would go to is the church and the house. At some point, the church was actually in the house, so I didn't have another choice. It was school, church, slash house, back to school. How did this kid just grow up and just turn out and just not want to do what she was taught growing up? Because by the time I was nine, 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 is it nine? When did I go to university? Maybe my classes will help me think. I went to university at 16. As at 16, I was now manifesting the fact that I didn't believe in what I grew up in. So I think it was a bit strange for my parents because I think they thought that I learned it in school when in reality I have always been like that. That's the thing. It's just like how they eventually noticed my sexual preference, or I don't think they've come to accept it yet. But then it was like, where did it come from? Exactly, where did it come from? That was the problem. The problem was that they kept on thinking that I had influence from somewhere, like someone somehow must have influenced that. They kept on looking for, but man, I'm starseed. I wasn't influenced by anything. I just came to this earth and started to manifest myself. And the person that I was manifesting, who was my true authentic form, was being suppressed and subdued and put in a box. I was put in a box growing up. I wasn't allowed to do this. So I was within that box. And the moment I was given the freedom to go to university, it was like I could spread my wings, and that is when my family started to have a problem with me. Now, remember the thing I was telling you about that I dreamt about the conditioning? Okay, so my conditioning happened like this. First slice of religious trauma started for me when I was in my first year of university. The story time. Okay, story time. So this was my first year of university, and I was just coming out for the first time, and everything was all new and sparkly for me. And also, I was able to get myself a phone. Mind you, I wasn't allowed to have a phone when I was in the house. I was already 16, but I wasn't allowed to have a phone. The phone that I think someone in church gave me that phone. A guy in church that probably had a crush on me gave me the phone. And I was hiding the phone from my parents all the time. I would hide that phone inside of the sofa in the house. And I'll use that phone to make calls at night, in the midnight when everyone was sleeping. And I would stay there. And I was talking to my crush. Sorry, mom. She's probably going to see this and be like, what? What? Or she's probably going to watch this video and go on her knees and pray more. Oh no, my crush wasn't a boy. No, my crush was a girl. So I got the phone from someone that had a crush on me in church, who was a boy, and I used this phone to call a girl crush of mine. Not this boy. There were other boys that were calling me though, I think. But I was just the reason why I was calling, the reason why I had that phone was so that I could talk to this girl. And we would talk in the midnight at length. At length. And then I'll go to school and I'll still meet this girl. Oh, I knew this story time was going to be interesting for me because now it's bringing up so many memories. I wasn't allowed to use the phone. The day my mother found out I had that phone, it's like I had committed the biggest sin. My mom is a Capricorn. So being a Capricorn, I think Capricorns are very dramatic because love is a Capricorn. She's dramatic. So when my mom sees something and she wants to tell you that it's a sin, she will exaggerate it. She would exaggerate it so much. I remember my mom fake crying like, "Oh my god, what you've done?" Damn! And it was so manipulative. Oh my god. One day I looked at her straight in the face and I'm like, what in the manipulative cry is that? And by then I realized like this was after years of me looking at her with the manipulative cry, and at this point I'm like, what? You have been playing me this whole time in my face. But I didn't say that to her. I was just like, what the fuck? Like that's a fake ass cry. She found this phone. She took the phone, put it in its case, and took this phone and went to burn it. She burns the phone. Because if you burn the phone, then you're burning away the devil that's into your house, right? Diba? Diba? If you're burning the phone, it means that you're burning away the devil. So the devil has to leave. So you have to burn the devil. Because I will know that because she told me that story. She said her dad was deep dead to her. So I could just imagine that she burnt it. But I never saw the phone again. That's the thing. I never saw the phone again. And when I went to school, this was my first time having access to phone, and because I someone else gave me a phone, another boy gave me a phone in school, and this was me with the internet, and I'm like, oh my god, now this is not a smartphone then, it was like QWERTY, but it had access to the internet, and I'm like, oh my god, I have the internet at my hands, like I could Google shit, like, oh wow. Now here is where it became interesting. This is a girl that already had her doubts about the religion that she's practicing. And now she's faced with the internet in her phone, in her hands, and she has the freedom to Google shit. I'm telling you, when I found out about Google, Google became my best friend. Because now I'm like, you can ask Google stuff. You can. And then now I'm out there questioning, how was the Bible made? Who made the Bible? What is the what is behind, how did religion start? Where is Christianity from? I'm starting to question things and I'm looking for answers because no one really gave me any answers. They were just commandments. I command you to go to church, and if you don't go to church, we would not give you allowance for the week. Even though you're 16 and we don't know where else you get money from, and now you're in university, but if you don't go to church this weekend, we will not give you money. Wow. In case you went to my university and you're also watching this, so now this explains to you why I was a weird kid. Do you get it now? I came into the first year of university. Blank slate, blank page. Ooh, clear, white as snow, pure, innocent virgin. And the world was at my feet. You took me and you threw me into the hands of the wolves. Then you said to me, if you don't come back every week because we need to track you're going to church. So if you don't come back every week, we will not give you money. And then, would you expect someone who is 16 that is just thrown outside for the first time and doesn't have money? What do you expect her to do? How is she supposed to survive? Oh my god. Here are some symptoms of the fact that you might be dealing with religious trauma. And these are some of the symptoms that I also faced. Feeling anxious or panicky when thinking about religion. I currently don't believe in religion at all. Shocked. Struggling with guilt or shame for no damn reason. This kept me in a box for so long because I was just struggling with guilt and shame. Even when I was free to finally do the things that I just felt like doing, I will do them and still feel guilt and shame. So tell me how someone can build their confidence and be great in life while they're trying to be free, but being free feels guilty to them, so they feel shame, but they also want to feel confidence and smash life. Do you see the problem? The healing is the interesting part. The healing is the nice part. The healing is when you've realized, you've come to that point where you realize where all this is stemming from and you find yourself a solution. Having a hard time trusting yourself or others. This was me. Oh my God. Trust issues. Trust who? I don't trust anybody. Even till now, I still struggle with trusting people that are closest to me. But deep down, nah, I am so ready for you to pop off on me at any point in time, because one time my dad was the sweetest man I ever knew, and another time he became not so sweet because I wasn't going to church. Do you see the push and pull? Trust issues. Good thing with awareness is I can tell you where my trauma is stemming from. Yeah, that's the part that I have reached. I've reached where now I can watch myself and I can tell you, if I'm feeling a certain way, I can assess, like, oh, this is where this is coming from. This is that shit that was done to me when I was 6 years old. You know what? And now I have to talk to myself as my own mom. And that's where self-reparenting comes in. Oh, I'm going way ahead of myself. Number four is feeling disconnected from your body or emotions. The disconnection. How do I explain this disconnection? For me, I now that I'm seeing it, because I had to research about it, and then I understood that this is what was happening to me the whole time. I have the ability to disconnect myself from pain. Something really tragic can just happen, and I could be there, and myself will just get numb and I won't feel it. So it created a sort of disconnection. So now having to feel emotions is a bit tricky for me, because I can see what I'm doing, but it doesn't feel like it's me that's doing it. Or I can see what's happening, but I'm not really connected to it. I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird. But the disconnection, I'm telling you, is a real side effect of trauma. Not just religious trauma, any trauma at all. Experiencing nightmares or flashbacks related to religious experiences. Oh my god. I just told you about the dream I had, and that's just one of many. From time to time, I knew a particular season in my life where it felt like I was running, like someone was chasing me. And I was just running in all of my dreams. I was running. And that was me, because I remember being younger and being under them and just promising myself that when I leave these people, I am never coming back. If I have the freedom to leave, I ain't turning back at all. Like, I never ever want to feel this again. Like, I don't want to see or feel this way again. So in my dreams, it always felt like I was running. I was running because I am an adult right now. I'm an adult in my 30s, and of course, at this age, you're not tied to your parents, of course, but having a mom that you could just call and just, hi, how are you? Or they check up on you, they ask you how you're doing, they're proud of you, or they give you some advice, you connected with them. That is something that I crave and I wish I had, and I wish I have, but I don't. I don't have the relationship with my mother because my mother is a religious fanatic, and the only message she sends to me is about church, not even religion, not even Christianity, but just about church. She sends me church stuff all the time. And I just look at it and I'm just like, well, it is what it is, and I have gotten used to it. Now, for the real good stuff, let's talk about healing. Where did my healing journey start? My healing journey started when I traveled out of the country, to be very exact. Before I left the country, I was close to where my parents were, and it was bad for me because I had just figured out my sexuality at the point and at the time, and it made it worse. They were already mad at me with, the decisions I was making, and now I was in a relationship with a girl. Ha! Let's not remember that. This made it so difficult for them to accept me, accept that I was, gay, and all of that. So the separation became even bigger, and it hurt me a whole big deal because I couldn't get close to them. They were not supportive of anything I was doing. They wanted me to suffer so that they can say that the reason I'm suffering is because I am not following Jesus. Oh, the best thing that I had to do was to just run away. I remember my cousin telling me, you need to leave, you need to jump out, just leave. So I left. And thanks to my cousin, God bless you so much, because he just called me one day and just told me there's an opportunity and you have to get out of the country as soon as possible. And I just packed my bag and I left. That was the biggest, happiest, wonderful thing that the universe had ever done for me, because it was like, girl, I see you putting in the effort into becoming a better person. Now let me give you a push. There you go. Boop. And just like that, I was in the airport and outside the country. And being outside, oof. Now, here is the interesting part. In order for you to heal, you have to go through it before you get to the end of the line where you can heal. I thought I was going to just hop, 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 and then get to the finish line where glitter, I'm all healed and I'm all good. But I had to go through it. So, for healing of any sort and of any kind, just know that the only way out of it is through it. You have to acknowledge your experiences and know that your feelings are valid. I remember days where I'll just stay in the water, in the shower, just hug myself real tight. I'll just let water pour through my head. I'll feel it all. I'll feel the abandonment. And because I was far away from it, I started to really see. My mom always said, when you stay in the toilet for too long, you'll forget that the shit smells. When you go outside, you're like, oh, that was a smelly ass. I remember things that were done to me. I remember things that were said to me that I tolerated. That was the worst part. The worst part was me remembering experiences that I tolerated. Me. I was there and this was done to me. What the bloody hell? And I'm just like, but then I have to remember self compassion, because I had to be that person to become this person that I am now. So, well done, Jay. Well done. You went through it. You're here now. You did a good job. You have to feel those experiences. It's not going to be rosy at all. It was bitter. It was bitter as hell. You would cry some hot tears. You're moving on with your life. You know, you have a new job now. Woo! And then one day the thing just hits you in the morning and you wake up with disgust. Like, I did that in 1995. Ew. Anyway, that is there about acknowledging your feelings and remind yourself that those feelings are valid. Connect with others who understand. we are not we are not trees in an island. We're not islands. How do I put it? A good part of healing is finding your community. When I came here, I was looking for my community. I eventually checked online and found a bunch of spiritual girlies and guys, girls and gays, and I was really glad I met them. I attended this event, 888 event in August last year, and it was nice. I was surrounded by people like myself. At that event, I'm like, you were not crazy all along. I met a lot of witches and people who have been practicing pure spirituality and human religion, and just I was baffled. It gave me clarity. It helped me to understand myself better. So, as much as you need to be by yourself, a community is a very wonderful asset to your journey, because being with other people is something else. Surrounded by the right people, you either surround yourself by the right people or remove yourself and just be by yourself alone. Remember that your guides are always nearby. Your guides are always by your side to guide you. Don't be afraid to call on your spirit guides. I tell you, I do it all the time. Dear God, what the fuck? help me, give me strength. I don't know what the fuck is happening. Just help me. Practice self compassion. Be as kind to yourself as you would be with a friend. Just be kind to yourself, guys. Be kind with yourself. I can't express this enough. The reason why you're not kind to yourself is because you don't love yourself. You feel the shame and the guilt. You need to just have compassion on yourself. Yes, I was a slut in 2015, but I'm not a slut anymore. Yes, I must have dealt with some ill people who I want to deal with right now, but I'm not that person anymore. We have come a long way. We're we have grown. We're making better decisions now. Self-compassion. Practice positive talking. Talk to yourself with grace and with compassion. Look in the mirror and just see that person who has gone through all this but hasn't broken yet. Like, wow. I've been looking at myself like, damn, you really did go through this bullshit and look at you like, you all, you're still here. Congratulations. Practice self-compassion. Now, remember that healing looks different for everyone. So the same way one person heals is not the same way another person is going to heal. So just take it one day at a time. Don't rush yourself. Do as much journaling as you can. Journaling really, really helps me. Write out your emotions. Observe how you're thinking, how you're feeling. Practice mindfulness. I cannot explain, say this enough. Practice mindfulness. Watch how you think, watch how you act, watch how your thoughts are going, and observe your thoughts. When you sit down to observe your self talk. See how you're talking to yourself like, no, we don't do that anymore. We speak kinder to ourselves now. You hit yourself or something, you did something like, shit, how stupid. No, 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 no. You made a mistake. It's okay. It's okay. You make mistakes. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's just another day. It's just another mistake. It's okay. It doesn't make me a bad person. I don't need to be perfect. I don't need to be perfect. I'm human. Humans make mistakes. We're growing, and that's okay. I'm telling you, positive self talk is going to take you very far. Very far. Because the things you say to yourself in your head can make you or mar you. You wake up one day and you're having a bad day. It's okay to cry and let it out, scream into the pillow. Do whatever you need to do to release. Don't let that energy stay stagnant and sit in there. Find ways to release. And when I say release, you know what I mean, guys. You know what I mean. Find healthy ways to release. I don't know. Journal, do something creative. That's not what I'm talking about. You've got this, beautiful soul. I am going to probably do a follow-up video on this, but so far I'm telling you, the fact that you've clicked on this video, the fact that you are realizing where you're coming from, that is a huge step already. It's going to get better. That's what I can tell you. It will get better. There are days that will just feel like bullshit, and the other days where you see yourself making progress. But the fact that you're waking up every morning and taking a breath is progress. Is progress. You can do this. If I could go from that person who was a scared cat, not just scared to go after what she wants, just still stuck in that box mentality, and I can finally just put myself out there, and I'm making this video right now and I'm talking to you guys about my experience. If I could do it, you can too. You can too. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Till another time, you got this. You got this.